Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After Podcast.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Hank Hill.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes, I am Hank Rutherford Hill, and we are joined by Matt Noel. Noel? Noel. Yes, Noel.
Wait, way to
This is
go.
why I can't be on the SNL.
I'm
Matt
really
and
hoping that this character drops at some point because
Yeah, I
it
don't know.
makes
I,
I really
I
want to punch you in the face so much right now.
yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like I've never seen Goodfellas, so I'm confused by your costume.
This is Hank Hill from King of the Hill. It is Halloween, and I'm in the spirit.
Well, uh, good. I got to give at least the effort for
Yeah.
the applause for effort there.
This was a great cosplay. You're just mad because why are you even mad? You didn't lose someone this episode. The first
Yeah,
time in forever.
I know. Honestly, like imagine picking Tiana in your draft. Like that would be so embarrassing. Like it didn't even make the jury. So like that would suck if you picked Tiana in your draft.
Matt,
Uh
that boy ain't right.
No, yeah. And I'm going to tell you right now why I'm mad is because we're recording this late on Wednesday. I had to watch Survivor with commercials for the first time in years, and that's some bullshit. Like I've like
We've been to Johnny Fairplay's parties where,
those are
we watch.
different. Those are different because there's alcohol and there's
yeah.
people to talk to
Yeah.
halfway through. Here I saw so many fucking voting ads.
Yeah.
I'm glad I already voted because it would piss me off.
It is your civic duty to vote. I know for Texas, it's very important.
I mean Texas, California, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter what you're voting for.
almost like the entire country. It's very important.
Yeah.
But mostly Texas.
Well, I gotta say this was a great episode in my opinion of
I
Survivor.
agree. I
I
agree.
was please stop with the voice. It really drives me. It's irking me so much right now. It is.
We didn't even
I
get a Bobby one yet. You have to shout for Bobby.
Bobby, what in tarnation? Matt, if you put on a gray t-shirt, you can be Bobby.
I'm good. I don't want to be your son.
yeah. I don't think anyone wants that. I think right now you've cursed this Halloween special with what you've brought to the table here.
Yeah. Is it too late for me to quit this podcast? I know I'm only a guest.
I mean, you have every right. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that you had to come in for this.
Yeah, I mean, when he showed it,
I know. You had to come in when Joe finally has a shred of confidence after 6 awesome episodes. And this episode was really great too. But Matt, I felt so bad for you that you had to come in, and I feel bad for our guest for next week, which that'll be a surprise to the audience.
Mhm.
But like, because Matt, I knew you were going to roast the absolute shit out of Joe if he lost
yeah,
several people in a row.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't do that now, so I'm just going to put all the roasting back onto you. So it's going to be like I never even left the podcast
No,
from 46.
I lost all the power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know.
Wait,
See, I just needed to survive one time. Now it's like, I think I got the final three now. I think it's only up for my draft.
I think Soul has definitely this was like a really good. I feel Soul's trajectory has gone up so much that
Mhm.
I like you are right. I feel like Soul is going to make it a lot deeper into this game than we predicted originally.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know honestly if he is the final three, but I can definitely see him making the finale. Um, and
Mhm.
I'm down for it. I like him. His personality is great. I loved his fake reactions to everyone be like, who gave the advantage to Rachel?
What?
What?
Yeah.
yeah. What the? Yeah,
What
he didn't even
the?
know what the safety without power was, or he was acting
Yeah.
like I'm not. I don't think it was an Oscar-winning performance. I'll
No.
give him like
No.
maybe like a Golden Globe, nomination.
Yeah. You know,
Hmm.
if I can see someone not really thinking that, there's anything suspicious with what Gabe was doing. I mean, what Saul was doing.
Yeah,
But like us knowing, it's just like you go, "Oh, that's kind of really
that's a little sus.
yeah."
Yeah. I think maybe because Gabe already did it, or at least in the edit, he already did it. And then so it wasn't bad. And also, it's like, we're not Gabe. Andy did it already in the edit. It
Mhm.
made it not as bad and a lot less attention on Soul as well, because I don't think anyone's Soul sees Soul in that way, you know?
Yeah, exactly. They're probably going to think it's Andy. I mean, they definitely Andy was making it.
Hmm.
He was like letting everyone know that he was looking for any advantage
Yeah.
or clue. I also like when I saw that it was like hidden there right next to Soul. I was like, oh, so Soul just gets the like who else is going to reach right behind Soul like that? And look, I mean, it would have been really awkward and weird.
Oh, so it makes sense why Neo just raised his hand. Yeah,
Yeah.
I also like how the edit made Soul look like he was more focused on the food because all of the shots were him
I
just
would
like
have been.
of just like
Yeah.
devouring the food.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of potato salad actually,
Same,
but like if
same.
I was on Survivor, I would eat the potato salad because you're starving. So
Hmm.
I would not leave a single morsel of food
Yeah,
left.
the best looking
I,
potato salad, as everybody said multiple times.
Yeah, honestly,
mhm.
it looked pretty good.
Hmm. Yeah, I would be like Soul and just eat it by like the big old spoonful.
Yeah,
I'm
Mhm,
like okay with potato salad. It's not like a go-to dish for me, but I really do appreciate like that did look very good.
mhm.
It
Yeah.
feels so weird doing this without the voice. Can I go back, guys?
No, please,
no,
for the
please don't
love
go.
of God.
Yeah, yeah, this isn't lost. You are not going back.
Yeah. If I hear it again, I'll put you on mute. I got the power to mute you.
That is fair. That is fair. But and you yeah, and you have someone else to talk to too, so I have
Yeah,
zero leverage here.
Yeah, exactly. But
just like normal.
I'm
What
now
did you say?
super convinced that we are getting an Andy win on this season. I feel like this Andy win trajectory is like super there now.
I think it's growing. I think it's growing. I don't know. I still
Uh-huh.
feel like Teeny still has a chance. I feel like I'm still rooting for Jen, and I feel
Mhm,
like if she's having like a under the radar edit, maybe. But I feel
mhm.
like that theory you had of Andy getting like, this kind of like had a very, very bad start and then growing up. He even had like a hero flex shot in the next time on Survivor where he's
Yeah.
like taking off his glasses and
Yeah,
stuff. And I'm like,
Clark
Yeah.
Kent,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah. They're not gonna see him coming. That was the whole thing. And
no.
this and they like set up the I think we all know that he was like being brought as the god of tribes like goats. Like that's kind of like they can throw him off at any point or they can bring him on as the final three zero vote finalists. So the fact that he's aware of that now and we saw him being aware of that and then trying to figure out like new path with Jen who just lost Rome who uh I guess Jen loves the crazy players. Like that's I guess just
Yeah.
her thing for some reason.
It's her type. It's her like alliance type,
Yeah,
you
what's
know?
funny is in preseason she said her ideal alliance partner is predictable.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely checked out because Rome was predictable.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Predictable.
He was
Andy's
predictable,
predictable.
unpredictable. He was
Exactly.
predictable, unpredictable.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why she kind of wanted to get rid of him was he started doing a bunch of crazy things too much and was like, okay, maybe that's too much. Now she's going with Andy, who also might be doing that stuff, but
Yeah.
after,
But not that
yeah,
much.
no.
He's actually not that wild.
Yeah, no,
No.
he had that crazy first episode that gave everyone the perception that he was this wild, chaotic, crazy player. But honestly, we're being told the story through Andy's eyes. When they go to
We
tribal,
were.
we were not told the story through Sam and Sierra, who were controlling that vote. We were told it through Andy's eyes of creating the decoy vote. That's what Survivor found more important on the Yellow Tribe. So
Mhm.
I just keep seeing more things where it's just like they are wanting us to really believe that Andy is the main character of the season.
Yeah. And I think that's, and I was talking to someone earlier today about the edit and everything. And I feel like I can see that narrative. I feel like
Mhm.
there definitely be hints in that trajectory for a while. I would say with the Annika vote that, that I think that's when you first picked up on it.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, I'm starting to see it a little more and more, and like I'm all for it. Like as well, like I love a rags to riches kind of story, or like
Mhm.
incompetence to like competent story. It gives me hope in my life.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
still thinking he's going to be the fallen angel because I think that would be a better story for him than
Mhm.
the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible. I mean, I can see him losing fire easily. I'm curious to see if he ever wins a challenge or any of that stuff because he has not shown the greatest challenge capabilities, especially when he was doing that saw and essentially humping the air with it.
Well, we've all been there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I
Oh,
can see him.
no.
Yeah, I can see him losing fire, but I also can just see someone dragging him to the end at final three, thinking that he's this goat, and then he lays out this master, his whole game essentially, and people go, "Wait a second, maybe he's the Gabler of the season." I've said it before. I feel like, Gabler has this bad first episode, but we're told the story through Gabler's eyes a lot of the times, but we just don't like to admit it because it's Gabler. He's crazy. What is he talking about? Um, I feel like there's almost the same
Yeah.
perception with Andy.
Yeah, I mean, you've had the like, you've watched the season, you watched 43 twice, so you have more like,
Yeah.
when you know the winner, you see the little you see the hints more. Like if it's a who done it, and then sometimes I compare, try to figure out who's winning to Survivor when you're looking at it as a who done it, and like the edits, and then you see the little things here and there in the edit. It's like, oh, okay, it points to this person.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I'll give Andy credit for is at the start of this episode when he was talking to Asal, he was like, "So that means you were confident you were sending me home?" And then he's like, why me?" And then he put Saul on the spot, which I thought was really good.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yet again, just going kind of like showing Andy, really aware and actually socially aware, which is, something that we would not have assumed would happen after episode one.
And doing the numbers in the sand in the middle of the night, like a psycho.
hmm
Yeah. I mean, we
not like
saw,
a psycho.
we saw
I
in
know.
episode one him doing numbers and doing
Yeah.
the math and all that stuff. So like, it's weird to think, but he is actually like, he is really intelligent.
Yeah.
He is an
He is.
AI research assistant.
He
Like
can
he,
speak German.
yeah, yeah. So he is way more intelligent
Yeah.
than episode one gave him credit for. And now like I feel like they dunk on him a little bit in like the immunities in front of everyone, but they do that to winners. They do that to, people that you're supposed to like. Like they'll dunk on you if you have an awkward, weird
Mhm.
thing that happens because they got to show it.
Okay. Give
But
me 17 examples right now. 17 examples. Go.
17
Yeah, go.
I don't want to go.
It
Okay.
is several teams. This is a. I have an
Okay.
early call time. We can't.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you just go through, I mean, you're gonna see winners and stuff falling and having, Chris Doherty, for instance, is I think probably one of the big
Yeah.
examples of episode one, just totally ruining it for the challenge.
Yeah.
They're kind of making fun even in the edits of how that's all going down. But he ends up winning the season. So I don't really take the edit of a challenge too much because that's in front of
Yeah.
everyone. They kind of have to show it to some degree. But when we're seeing tribal life and camp life and strategy, they don't dunk on Andy that much. Like a few people will say like, oh, Andy's chaotic, but then we go to Andy and we see that he's creating this plan that's actually going to be what matters.
Implemented. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. And now the old Gata tribe has pissed him off.
Mhm.
Specifically, his number one, Sam, and to an extent, Sierra. We see like the flashbacks in his head,
Mhm.
being like, "Oh, hey, yeah." It's like, "Hey, what if I give you my shot in the dark?" And Sierra's like, "Yeah, that would be cool." Um, sorry, I'm better at Hank Hill than I am
I
at
don't know.
Sierra.
I mean, that was a pretty good one.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Well, I think he's doing good. Someone else who, her edit is definitely low still in terms of confessionals, but clearly a power player on the original Tuku tribe, and that's Caroline. She
Hmm.
we do MVP and LVP here. I'm going to give her the MVP. I'm just going to say it all right off the bat because like the way that she handled, like she was in complete control. Whoever she wanted to go home is going
Was going
home.
home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I could tell in the edits that Gabe, Caroline, and Sue, like we've been shown that alliance. So I figure that those three weren't going to turn on each other, which left Tiana, really on the outs there since Kyle had individual immunity, which by the way, super weird that he is going to be going down in the record books as winning individual immunity, even though he got third place in that
yeah.
challenge.
I don't like it. I actually made a note of that. It's like if he gets to the record of 5 and this counts, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah,
that's some bullshit. Because
yeah.
it's because all he had to do was be on the losing side and then beat 5 people.
Yeah, like I mean, I think they should also have given something to like Genevieve and Teeny because like
Yeah.
they also outlasted Kyle, who gets to
They
now.
got a few more ribs. They got a few more ribs.
Yeah,
Extra potato salad.
Yeah.
yeah, but
No, because they outlasted, because Survivor can be very cheap with their rewards, they actually gave them utensils. I
Yeah.
still in
That's true.
45 when it's just a chicken,
yeah,
no plate, it's just on a tablecloth that's completely ruined now. Um I don't know. Like maybe it was like, all right, you get an extra soda pop. Now you guys have napkins.
Yeah.
Things like
And,
that.
and then they have the auction next week, so they are spending money on this season.
yeah. I'm so
They
excited.
are.
That was like that's my biggest thing. Like if you're doing 90-minute episodes, you got to do an auction in that season now. I just
Mhm.
think that you
Yeah.
absolutely got to. I know why they didn't do it for 46 because they thought they were only doing hour-long episodes for 46. But like moving forward, Survivor never lose the auction again. Like
Yeah.
it was a stupid idea that they stopped doing it. Like just make the small tweaks. It was very small tweaks you need to do to make the auction still work. So yeah, just to keep it because I love it. It is one of my favorite things to see on Survivor.
I agree. I agree. What they did in 45, I think, was a good thing. Like, well, obviously, we have our notes on that where it shouldn't be like too strategic in the sense of like, I like the thing like, oh, they had to hunt for their money, but I
Mhm.
don't like how like they added that extra level. It's like, oh, the person with the most amount of money at the end is, kind of like screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, which I know why that's implemented was because people would hold on to their money like to keep, like they can go home with an
Mhm.
extra $500
Well,
essentially.
well, just say no. The money stays with us.
Yeah, I know it's
You could.
yeah, they could. I mean that's a pretty good way to go through it, but I guess it's just like been the standards that you can keep it. So who knows?
Well, it used to be the standard for 30 seasons to have the auction, and then they got
Yeah,
rid of it, so they brought it
yeah,
back, changed the
yeah,
rules. This new
yeah.
era, baby.
Yeah, anything goes. It's
Exactly.
like Candyland.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
Where the rules don't matter.
yeah.
No.
You know what? I would love if they just gave us like a 2 hour long auction. Like let's have just a like don't no tribal, no anything else. Like just let them go to tribal, let them go to auction with like $1,000 each, and let's just see a bunch of things and have them just have a blast. Like that seems like an
Hmm.
amazing episode to me.
Yeah, but as we saw in the preview, like they each have their own little stations, so they are collecting money, it seems
Yeah,
like.
Yeah. Yeah. which
yeah.
which I like, which I like.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, more onto like this. So this one we had, which was essentially an earn the merge. I know last episode it was like not really an earn the merge. This one it was more earn the merge, adjacent than this. This was more of an earn the merge,
Mhm.
where they split them up into two teams, and just by miraculous RNG, it's like Tuku, and then Rachel, and then
Oh,
everyone else, which is a mixture of old. I'm forgetting the tribe names. I almost said stuff from
Gotta and
Orgamen.
love it. Gotta and love it.
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, yeah. So like it was about half and half of there, and then all but one, all but
Yeah.
Rachel, but
I know the
also
feeling, Rachel.
Gabe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, especially with no time essentially. And Rachel's already has like a little bit of perception of being a strategic player. Everyone saw the Rice moments, so like
Mhm.
that's kind of like their perception essentially of Rachel. So it was definitely a tough place for her to be, which made Soul's advantage more interesting. The
And
fact that he
way
could,
more powerful. Like
yeah,
obviously, we knew which advantage he was going to choose if he gave it to Rachel, because a block the vote
Yeah.
would do nothing.
yeah,
Well,
It would have
I assumed that.
potentially get
Oh,
rid
sorry.
of Gabe.
mhm,
It would have gotten rid of Gabe. However, it's like, why gamble if you have a 100% chance of staying safe as opposed to like going along with a plan? It's like, why
yeah,
gamble? You just do this safety without power,
yeah,
especially because you're not fucking over any of your,
Yep.
tribe
yeah.
mates or any of your alliance members.
Yeah, the only world you do a block of vote is if you saw that the other team was 3 versus 3. Like that's the only
Exactly.
time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, safety without power is essentially always the thing you give.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
like this. I do like this advantage where somebody could send it and they get to choose. But
Mhm.
just because of the
Yeah.
way that the tribes landed, it was just kind of obvious of what was going to happen. Maybe next time, since there were 12 players, do three different groups, and then one
Mhm.
advantage has to go to one of the two tribes going to tribal. I think that would be more fun.
You
Mhm.
never know.
I
Yeah.
I do know.
Jeff, if you want to listen, you do know.
I do know. Yeah.
You
No, I
do
don't
know.
know. I don't know. Maybe
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I
You
know a
know a
lot.
lot of people, Jeff. You
I
know a lot of people, Matt.
I know. I know. I do. Thank you.
Yeah.
The audience doesn't know.
Well, sorry. Hi. I know a lot of people.
Anyway, the more you know.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's yes. But no, I still think like this was like interesting. And then Jeff also put the weight on this. So, like this is the last non-jury member, and then that
Yeah.
send chills down people's spines. This is like the final challenge. Like you don't want to mess this up.
Yeah, but if they did the math, they would have realized that since Survivor only does final three now, Jeff is never going to have it where there's nine jury members to set up a 3-3 tie. Yeah, 3-3-3 tie at the final.
No,
So they so yeah,
Yeah.
so
I
they should
get
have
that.
known.
They knew,
Yeah.
but like he emphasized this
Yeah.
because this was like something that would harken back later on into it that made because say what you want about Tiana going after Gabe and stuff like that, she was someone where and she was the one that kept bringing it up and she was the one that eliminated of like it's the final pre-juror spot, it's crushing to go there. Like I don't know, I know like Fallen Angel is usually reserved for the person that just makes it out of or just barely misses final tribal council, but I feel like us as a survivor community should come up with like the pre-juror equivalent of Fallen Angel. Like they just
Mhm.
missed out on the jury.
Yeah, I have experienced that in one of the orgs that I played. So it definitely sucks just being just a little shy to making, the actual impact of being able to vote.
Yeah, so she made the merge, so she is dateable, but because she didn't make the jury, maybe we can just say she's only swipeable. So
Is that why it didn't work with J Maya?
yep.
I couldn't. Oh, no, no, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I mean,
Anyway,
J Maya
No,
didn't even
yeah, so is she.
yeah. I mean, J Maya didn't even earn the merge, so
Yeah.
she went out
no,
in limbo.
no,
Uh,
it's all right. Anyway, but no, yeah, I feel like going into this, there's a lot of high stakes. There's also a lot of high stakes for Joe because like Gabe might be eliminated here. Just
yeah.
one person. And I was like, oh my God, is it going to happen? And they had a lot of breadcrumbs leading down that path. Like, oh, like it could be Gabe. They were like, it could be Rachel. And like, the thing was, Tiana's name wasn't really discussed during those like little
Hmm.
moments either. Like she was throwing out the names. And I do find it interesting that Gabe pitched Caroline's name
Hmm.
and Rachel did not go to anyone about that, to Caroline
Yeah,
and stuff.
Well,
Like,
she may have, but we just never saw it.
yeah,
it's possible. It's
yeah,
possible. But at
yeah,
least in the edit, she didn't. And we
yeah.
can only base it off the edit.
it does seem like that was the decoy plan that he was pitching to Rachel. So it wouldn't have been
Hmm.
going through. But yeah, I definitely I remember I face palmed when he said Caroline's name because I was just like, that's the person that's deciding. Don't say to that is the person that's deciding
Yeah.
as the targets. Like,
Yeah. And
I
and
definitely, yeah,
and then afterwards he hugged Rachel and then he gave the eye roll to the camera, which I always
yeah,
love the fourth wall break. So
yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
I
I'm just
always
glad
appreciate
Gabe.
those.
I'm glad Gabe gets to be here. He's set up to do something either great or have the greatest big downfall somewhere in the jury. Like that it just feels like that's been his trajectory is one of those
Yeah.
two things. So, um, I definitely was like the edit is not telling me Gabe's going home here. The edit has definitely led to Tiana being on Gabe, Sue, and even Caroline's like radar. Um,
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the breadcrumbs were there, at least
uh,
for this episode.
yeah,
Everything prior to that, no, not at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
Um, but this did come to a resolution this
yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Um,
I also think Gabe is just the better person to keep because he's just the bigger shield for everyone
mhm,
there.
yeah.
I think Kyle, because of his immunity wins, is the biggest shield of the
yeah,
Blues and most expendable. As we kind of know, like there's that three of Caroline, Sue, and Gabe. So I think those three will
Mhm.
probably make it farther than Kyle. But yeah, I think Kyle is probably going to get thrown under the bus the second he loses an immunity, which might be next week, maybe the week after. And then Gabe is like the next person that's like their shield.
yeah. I wanted to point this because when Caroline was talking to Tiana, Tiana pitched the idea of getting rid of Gabe, and Caroline made a great point of if it won't be us, but it will be Gabe and Kyle who will be the big shields, as you said. So
Mhm. Exactly. Which yeah, I mean, great for Sue and Caroline. I definitely see them making pretty deep into the game, I feel. Yeah, I enjoy them. I don't necessarily I still don't know if I believe in like a Caroline win or a Sue win. I feel like I don't
I
see it
think no.
I don't know.
personally. But we'll see. Maybe they'll surprise us and have a bigger edit where suddenly like Caroline says at like final six, I'm gonna win the $1 million and then get that winner quote because you got to have the winner quote somewhere in the season.
You know what's a great winter quote? Winter quote?
What?
Did somebody say more screen time?
Oh, I thought you were going to do a kill impression. Now wait,
No, 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 no.
now do did anybody say more screen time in the Hank Hill?
Joe, will you mute me afterwards, or is
No,
this
no,
allowed?
don't do it, Joe.
No,
I
no,
asked.
no,
I
no, no,
asked
no,
him.
no. You get one free pass.
All right. Hold on, I gotta get into the diaphragm.
God damn it.
Hold on. Did
I
somebody say more screen time?
I immediately regret that decision.
Yeah, I regret agreeing to not mute Ryan.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm done. I'm
yeah.
done.
Going back to Caroline and Sue, I think Caroline made the right choice of sticking with Gabe because Caroline knows that Sue has the idol. So if she would have voted off Gabe now, then
Mhm.
basically Sue would have burned Caroline later. So
Yeah.
so I think Caroline made the right decision, even though I was hoping for Tiana. Although the edit made it very clear it was going to be her, where she's like, "Yeah, I don't want to be the last person voted out before the jury." And then she
Yeah.
said that like three different times. Like, well, obviously she's going.
Yeah, and she was saying that before Rachel even used her safety without
Yeah,
power.
yeah,
Like she was
exactly.
already like speaking and freaking out. Like she assumed that she was on the chopping block, which gave me some like kind of like red flags because I was like, they didn't say her name in any of the strategy talks. So it was
No,
definitely
yeah.
interesting that she was suddenly going up there. But I mean, they've laid the foundation in the previous episodes that Tiana was the one on the outs.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
essentially got another two-coup pre-merge tribal
Yeah,
council that just happened to be right here.
Yeah, I think Jeff put it best where he was like, "Oh, the Tuku tribe kind of went back in time
Yeah.
and then, get to vote someone out." barring obviously, Kyle having
Yeah.
immunity and stuff like that. But, and then I believe it was Gabe that mentioned it was like, yeah, but like, we're doing this back in time, but that has like a lot of big effects coming into this right into the game right now. I think the thing is they were willing to do it prior to this. It was just like, would they actually? Because like I think it is a numbers game and stuff like that. And if it's like, oh, well, if there's five more people, they're too powerful, let's take them out. Like we see it here. It's like sometimes when you get into the merge or situation, it's like one of those things like this is like, all right, we need to take these people in power. Now, granted, that doesn't mean that it's just going to be in total annihilation of Tuku. It's just like maybe the last two people left in Tuku can wiggle their way, find the stuff. It is kind of funny that someone was like, "Oh yeah, Rachel wiggling her way," and she did a little wiggle.
Yeah.
Just yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the
that is
best.
very gifable right there. I can see that entering the little things.
Mhm.
Speaking of Rachel's advantage, I noticed that she said that she got the advantage of safety without power. She didn't mention that she had the choice, and she also said that somebody sent it over. So I wonder if she had to be told, or she was told you have to say somebody sent it over. Because if not, I feel like that was like a big blunder, kind of letting everybody know, oh, somebody on that six side sent me this advantage.
I actually think it was good that she said that.
Yeah,
I think, it probably tipped her off that, it's in her bag. Like a producer probably said, you
Okay.
have something in your bag. And like, they're not going to give someone a power just because that'd be interesting. So
Well,
yeah,
well, she didn't have to say I found this in my bag. She could have said,
yeah.
"Oh, 20 minutes before I found this advantage on at the
yeah.
chaos."
Well,
Yeah.
I think
But
also I feel part of it is that if you say that someone gave it to you in that moment,
mhm,
it also relieves some of the suspicion on you. It shifts
yeah.
the focus
Good
over
point.
there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because if you find something, that means that you did something actively. Whereas if someone gives it to you, that means that someone else is basically just saved you. It's like playing an idol on someone. Like you don't say the person who got the idol played on made the move. It's always
No.
the person who plays the idol. Even if the person who gets the idol played on like did it, strategically, like convinced, like you'd still give the credit to the person who plays the idol.
Fair point. And then since she didn't say I could block a vote, then hopefully that'll be something that Sal can use to be like, "Hey, I sent you this, and I know because you had the option of choosing between these two things."
Yeah. What's interesting is I actually don't know if Saul should let Rachel know that he saved her in this instance, because if he does, Rachel will then tell other people. And now
Hmm.
suddenly everyone knows Saul is the one who just saved Rachel. And now suddenly
Mhm.
Saul's threat level goes up. So it's actually a weird
Why
situation
not
where
keep? Yeah,
he kind of
yeah.
wants no one to know that it was
Yeah.
him until he gets the final tribal and then can let everyone know that I saved you, Rachel. You should vote for
Or at the
me.
very least, he has that information he
It,
can
it
use
is back.
whenever
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
what like even we saw earlier in the episode when he's talking to Andy and stuff like that, it's like, all right, he didn't flat out say already that, Gata was throwing out, his name as or like agree. They didn't throw out his name. They agreed. It's like, yeah, Andy's kind of expendable, my bad. So it was more so like sometimes when you play these games, you have information and you just don't need to say it right away. But sometimes you hold on to it in case you need to build trust, like he did with Andy and stuff like that. And this could be an instance where he will bring that to Rachel when the time
The
is
time
right.
is right. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not saying do it now. I'm just saying when
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
has a chance, when he needs to is when he should do it.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I just love Soul. He just seems like a great guy. Like
Yeah.
when he got everyone a beer, I was like, I want a beer with Soul. Like that just
Yeah.
feels like a fun time.
An Alamo beer would be nice. Sorry, it doesn't feel the same without the voice. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you were still doing the voice. See, I can't tell.
No, this is my regular Ryan voice.
Oh wow! This entire time I thought that was your Hank Hill voice. That's crazy.
Whatever, Matt.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. What are your guys' thoughts on a all-girl alliance? Every season we gotta talk about if an all-girl alliance is going to happen. It is a required thing on Survivor, and we got it in this episode.
Well,
Go
okay,
ahead.
that's I feel like if you feel that's the best thing for your game to do, go for it. But if you, let's say you're on the bottom of that girl alliance, and is that actually the best path forward for
Mhm.
you?
Yeah.
Or like, it's like I think it varies, and I feel like that's why alliances based off of certain demographics can be tricky because it's like, okay, yes, we're doing on this, but also is working together really good for our games moving forward. Um, so like if it is and if it works, because we haven't really had that since pretty much since One World. It's funny though, they harken back all the way to
Yeah.
Black Widow Brigade and not mention One World, where,
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, that one was kind of like forced because they started on the same tribe, like it was all
Yeah.
women versus men. So
yeah,
Yeah.
but at the
so
same
I would
same
I know.
time, like,
But
but at the same time, like the
yeah.
more numbers to like, the end like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've also seen men versus women before, and
Mhm.
obviously in Vanuatu, the women's tried to get together, but Chris just goes on his immunity run and managing to convince them to keep working with. But even Amazon, like, it was actually a
Yeah.
pretty good like mix when it got there. So
Balance. Yeah. So
yeah,
you never know. And I feel like it really depends on how people see moving forward with their games.
yeah,
But like, yeah, if it works for Teeny's gonna run with it. If it works for Sue and Caroline to be like, okay, maybe yeah, we go over this way, it does. Or maybe like, no, I think we still want to keep Gabe around as that, like, Meatshield and I really like this three, then go that way. That's just how I see it. If it hinders your chance for the W, don't
Yeah,
do it for the sake of doing it.
yeah.
yeah. I don't ever see it happening again, unless if it's like if unless if it's like a men versus women thing, where it already started off that way. Because every time they've
Yeah.
tried it, it fails so fast.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes honestly one or two women who have any kind of allegiance to any of the guys to essentially change it because, yeah, I mean, it's so hard to honestly tell your like the order and structure of an all women's alliance. Like, there
Yeah.
might be a leader who is controlling it, and then like everyone else is just like, where do you really stand?
I think another good example of this, not in Survivor, but Squid Game The Challenge, there was a thing where all the remaining women left were like, hey, we got to stick together. And there was a challenge where it was a safety chain and it
Mhm.
cut off at a certain point. But there were some contestants that were like, I don't want to lose this male, like someone I'm really close to that I know will have my back. So, they chose them and it was like, hey, pick a female. It's like one of those things where if it's better for your game to partner someone of a different gender, then go that way. I'm never going to like bash anyone for wanting to do like like all like female, male, all, if it's one ethnicity, anything like that. But it's like if it makes sense for your game, if you make it to final tribal council and you don't win with those people, then
Yeah.
was it worth it? I mean, like, I think it's still worth it for the sense of like, okay, we did this as a unit, and it does make, and like, it is a proud moment. But like, if you're playing the game, maybe you don't want to do that.
Yeah. And yeah, I just never see also like a guy alliance ever coming. I think that we're just not in the era where we'd ever see just a bunch of guys, a bunch of bros
No,
broing out. We saw Roxroy try to pitch it, and
Yeah, that didn't
people
work.
were not interested. they
Yeah,
they voted him out.
no,
and then the brochachos and Christians like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or in Caramone, where all the guys were like, "Hey, Cochran, come join us and bro out." He's like, I'm good."
no.
Yeah.
I think the closest we will ever get to it in the new era is in 45 when we get playing with the
The
boys.
boys.
I still can't believe they
So
actually paid for that song.
It's great.
I loved it. It was perfect. It was
It really
amazing.
was. really was.
Yeah, they should have a scene like that happen every season. We need to
Agree.
like just a play with the boys. Just like we need to just see that happen.
Or
And
even girls just want to
yeah,
have fun. If they
Yeah.
want to
yeah,
do if there's like an all girls thing, they can do that.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. I want to see girls just want to have fun on a reward challenge where Teeny is drinking the entire bottle of wine
Bottle
again.
line, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What else is there to talk about? Oh, I am so interested in this challenge because if you know anything about boom operators, I was just like I was watching this. I was
Yeah.
just like, man, if a boom operator went out there on this season, like this is a
They would
challenge that they
crush
win.
it.
They would crush it, yeah.
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 Except maybe when they got down to the end, but it
Yeah.
looked like almost nobody did here. So
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Because
everyone was struggling.
yeah, I've done that. I've done boom operating and it sucks. Like,
yeah,
when you're doing takes that are, like 5-10 minutes long of just like waiting and going,
Mhm.
it hurts. Your arms do start burning. So yeah.
Yeah, like I know people where if they take a little break or like if it's the Monday of, like they'll do it. Like they're fine when they're like used to it, but like if they go on vacation, they come back, it's like, oh, I gotta
yeah.
get back to used to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And that's why there's never been a boom operator on Survivor. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That it's
Give it time.
you'd say it's an unfair advantage, but they've also brought in basketball players and done shooting challenges,
Yeah.
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 R.I.P. Cliff.
Yeah, RIP Cliff.
RIP Cliff. No.
Okay. Anything else on this episode?
I think we covered everything. I think
Yeah,
the thing is, it was a very straightforward
yeah,
Mhm.
episode. It just took. I will say, I did find it interesting. I was like, okay, that without power is probably going to get played because, like, I looked at my clock because it's right by the TV, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
all right. Usually they save like last 10, 15 minutes for tribal, and it was like 9, 10 when they were like at there. I was like, okay, so this is. I doubt
Mhm.
they're going to talk for like 20 minutes. It's like, okay, something definitely big is going to happen here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, same. I was really surprised that we were going to tribal, and it even when they were going to tribal, it felt like I don't know how they edited it, but it felt like there was something big that was going to happen as they were walking there. Like
yeah.
it
Yeah,
definitely had that kind
yeah.
of grandiose kind.
Gravity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gravitas.
gravitas.
Uh, one thing I wanted to point out about Tribal is Sierra's jacket looks very comfortable. It was like some
Yeah,
It
like
did.
yeah, it was like some
Like
like
a cardigan.
yeah, it
Like
looked really
John.
comfortable.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like, damn, that looks good.
yeah. Yeah, I think outfit selection super important on Survivor. You need to make sure you come equipped with, the ability to
Everything.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like I definitely want to go out there with some kind of like hoodie or sweatshirts, like
yeah,
because you need like that extra thing. Some people, are going out there without that kind of stuff, and it's just and then you see that they are just cold later.
Hmm. Yeah.
Earlier seasons they would not give the women good
yeah.
outfits because they were like, but you got to be in your bikinis and your pulver buff swimwear.
Yeah. One thing I
No.
will say, because I've talked to a bunch of people from Australians, Titan versus Rebels, and I asked them what is one clothes item you wish you would have brought. One player brought like a Mexican poncho, and everybody said that was the best thing because it keeps you dry, it keeps you warm, and it's easy to dry if it ever gets wet. So if I'm ever on Survivor,
Good idea.
I'm going to bring a
Yeah.
poncho.
I'm gonna dress like this. I'm just gonna go out as Hank Hill.
And
Um,
get voted out first because no one can handle
I
that
highly
voice.
doubt it. I highly doubt it. They're gonna use me as a shield because that's the best strategy.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
a
think
shield for
I
one
think
tribal.
No, 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 no. I think it's a great strategy because they'll be like, man, I really enjoyed King of the Hill growing up. Also, this guy is entertaining.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to happen because CBS Fox, obviously, it's a different character. So
yeah,
right.
I think that's why I haven't been casted on it yet
yeah.
because I
Well,
pitched them this idea.
well, I dare you for the org you're currently in, to play the rest of the game as Hank Hill. It's
Don't
okay.
worry. Here it is. I'm here to absorb all the awkward and weirdness.
Oh,
I
I know.
am
I know.
the
I've hung
day
out with you
after
before.
Jesus. I'm day after Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to think of an Easter joke, but never mind. It is not
Yeah.
worth it.
Okay. Let's if we got nothing else of the episode, let's go into confessionals. Okay.
All right.
My
Because we
favorites.
like to measure screen time on here. I've
Uh
also just kind of adopted that to be like kind of the intro for this.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's her gimmick now, so you can't turn on it.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
one of my gimmicks. It's one of my gimmicks.
Exactly. So Tiana gets voted out here with 19 confessionals, 19 total confessionals, getting 3 this episode. The person with the highest confessionals is Sam with 39 confessionals.
And then probably Andy.
And then Andy, yes, with 33 confessionals.
And I'll
Uh,
probably go Gabe because he got a bunch this one.
actually, he and Gabe are tied. They're
Okay.
actually tied at both with 33 confessionals. And then next up we got Teeny with 31 confessionals. And then it looks like we have a tie here between Sue and Rachel with 25 confessionals.
How many did Rachel have this episode?
She had 7, so she had
Okay. Oh,
Quite a
so
bit.
she.
yeah.
So yeah. So she. Well,
And
because she was on the bottom. So.
yeah, and Sue got 0 confessionals, even though she
Yeah.
went to tribal. So interesting.
That's another reason why I was like, oh, I guess it's not her winning this season. I still
Yeah.
think she can make it very deep, but
Yeah, I could see her being second place still. I can see her being
yeah,
second place.
I don't
totally.
know. Well, I just wanted her to make it to tribal. Just she'll be like, "Hey guys, I'm actually 58,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up,
and
we
I
got.
do play pickleball."
But oh yeah, I was happy about the pickleball stuff because I love playing tennis and pickleball, so I would have been all in that conversation. That would have been great.
Well, I just can't wait for Tyson Apostles podcast for him to go after her because he's already mad
Yeah.
at her about lying about the age because he's 45, and then now she doesn't like pickleball.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Okay. Next up in confessionals, we got Soul with 23 confessionals. He had a big jump here with 6 confessionals this episode.
Ooh,
A lot of screen time.
Yeah, that's more than I would have thought.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have, it looks like Sierra is next with 18 confessionals. So and then we got Kyle with 16 confessionals, and then last we got Caroline with 14.
Where's Genevieve?
Yeah, Genevieve's at 20. So she's right below
Okay.
Soul. Yes, in between Soul and Sierra.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
How many did Genevieve have this episode? 1, 2?
She had 4.
Oh wow.
I did not think we had 4. I was even thinking through. I was like, I remember the thing with Andy.
Yeah.
And
We had a couple there, and then
then the
feast.
rewards, yeah, the feast,
the Brits, yeah.
So there must have been just a bunch of non-important ones, and the only important one really was the Andy one, I think.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay, well, I've already said who my MVP of the episode is, and that is going to Caroline. What about you two?
go ahead, Neil. It's your show, and Joe and I are just guests.
No, that's not it at all. That's not it at all. We are equal here.
Thank you.
Joe brings the strategy. Joe brings the strategy. I bring
Hank Hill.
Impersonations.
Yeah, Hank Hill.
I bring Hank Hill, yes. And I bring someone I'm someone for Joe to make fun of, so he feels better about himself.
Yeah. I need it.
Yeah.
I need it.
I understand, bro. That's why I take it and I take in all the heat for everyone. That's why I'm the joke. Because I can take it and cry.
So you're the Dominic Mysterio of this podcast. So that would make you Liv Morgan, Joe?
Yeah, I'm the Liv Morgan of all you wrestling fans out there.
I don't get the reference, but I support it. I'd say
it was
for
actually
me,
really good.
Yeah, it was.
If I were to choose an MVP, I still want to say Soul. I feel like he's gotten Andy reworking his entire strategy right now. He was able to give Rachel an advantage, And also, like, I feel like he has a lot of like different avenues moving forward in this game. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's also going to be Soul, unfortunately. Because I
Okay.
want to do something different, but it's just like I wanted to pick Rachel because I'm a big fan of Rachel, especially because she honors one of the greatest international Survivor winners with her sock choices. Shout out to Dino because he gave me a shout out on his last podcast. Um, but yeah, it has to be Soul because he had like basically all the power of this episode. Uh,
Yeah.
so,
I mean, you have the power to save Rachel. Now,
yeah,
the question is saving Rachel a good move? That is my actual concern because I do think Rachel is a good player
yeah,
and he
yeah,
just saved a good player to
exactly.
take out someone who is already going to be taken out in probably one of the next couple of tribal councils anyways.
Yeah.
So,
Well, as a fan of
I think
Rachel,
that's a
I
valid
I love the move.
mhm,
I think it's a valid argument that Joe is bringing up. I feel like for this episode, I think it was a good thing. We'll see further
uh-huh,
down the line whether or not this either helps or hinders Soul's game, or at the
mhm,
very least, if Rachel makes it further than Soul or anything like that. We'll see.
mhm.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
All right, LVP.
LVP, no one was like, I
Yeah.
mean, like atrocious. Like there wasn't,
Yeah,
there wasn't like a let's dunk on them like previous episode with Rome. Like that was a clear
yeah,
LVP with Rome. Like I mean, like I guess I gotta say Tiana, but I wouldn't even say it's like
yeah.
a worthy LVP.
She made moves here, and I think that's a
Yeah,
good thing because like the thing is she was making the moves and stuff like that. It was just like Caroline wasn't able to, or Caroline didn't feel comfortable with that vote. And I feel like it was just something where just previous tension and stuff like that
yeah,
led to this. So it wasn't anything she really did this episode because obviously she wanted to make a move.
yeah,
She wanted to keep Rachel around. And so I don't she just had an unsuccessful move. And then also
yeah,
with different circumstances, despite the whispering and everything, it just Carolyn wasn't going to break on that. So
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. My LVP is going to be Jeff, because I did not like him during this episode. It's like I always hate the way he describes food. I also hate this fucking twist. Like I thought we got rid of Earn the Merge and Emergatory of the split tribal because Jeff loves to have his
yeah,
small tribals. Uh, and then yeah, so I'm going to go Jeff. And if I can't pick Jeff, then I will go Kyle, just because he's definitely he
Fun.
doesn't really do much.
He won two challenges, and he's the one that put like really cemented last episode. We need to target Rome. Now, granted, Rome will probably have done shit
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
to
yeah,
get that.
yeah.
However, he was like a bit of a catalyst when it came to that. So Kyle
yeah,
is doing
Okay,
things.
yeah.
fine. Then I'll keep it on Jeff
Okay.
because ever since he became a producer, it's kind of
Yeah.
gone. No doubt.
Yeah. I can also, by the way, see a potential world where Gabe actually gets the LVP because of him basically trying to use the decoy vote of Caroline and like throwing that
Mhm.
out there. Like it definitely had the potential. It was super messy. Like it could have the potential of he
Why
going
didn't
home
he just
because of
say
this.
Tiana? Yeah, because like, why would you name your ally?
Yeah,
If unless
exactly.
that's like your serious target, don't name your allies.
Yeah, and naming your ally who is literally the swing vote that's going to decide the who's going home. So
He didn't know
definitely
that, but yes, still, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, definitely can see that, but I'll stick it on to Tiana because I don't think she actually did anything like good in the episode. She was kind of
Mm.
like okay
Yeah.
to doing bad things. Like
I
it was
would,
kind of there.
yeah. Maybe the LVP is the audience because they were deprived of watching you miss three people or seven people in a row.
Oh, this
Like
audience,
that
yeah.
is some this
Mhm.
audience, it was so close. Like I can only imagine your reaction and stuff while you're watching it and you panicking.
Yeah, I
And
was
now the relief
so
is
scared
done.
with so I was watching this with friends this episode and yeah, when and I they know about our fantasy draft and when they were seeing Gay, they like my friend looked at me just the slow turn just like
I would have loved
Oh,
I would have loved it if it was 7. But the thing is, Joe,
Yeah.
we had a good run. You had 6 people in a row. You learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Don't hire people to roast me on my fantasy picks, especially the
Yeah.
guy that's your winner pick that went
Yeah.
out.
I really got cursed by Rome, I think.
yeah,
I think that really did it in for me.
yeah. He really destroyed your game. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But don't worry, when he's out there on season 50, I'm gonna have him roast you again, right?
Yeah. Actually, what I heard was next season he's coming on this podcast and he's taking Neo's spot.
Okay.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
were you not aware of that?
yeah. What in the
No.
ultimate roast is the ultimate roast?
Yeah.
Listen, if you think I'm bad, just wait until Rome. It will be like Rome and Salt. You're thinking it's going to be like Rome and Genevieve. No, Joe, it is going to be Rome and Salt, and you'll be Saul
Yeah,
in that situation.
You know what? I would love to play with Rome. If
yeah,
Rome was on my tribe, I would be trying to play with Rome.
yeah,
Like I would find it so fun.
yeah. Rome is definitely coming back for 50 because Jeff said somebody from
Yeah.
47 is definitely coming back, and
Yeah.
it feels like it's gonna be Rome.
If I don't know if you've listened to the On Fire podcast, Matt, but he like speaks the praises of Rome. Every
Yeah.
episode was about how
Yeah,
great Rome is. Like Rome
yeah,
is the greatest thing.
yeah.
Like
I mean, Rome is such a great character. Like
yeah,
Rome is the new Boston Rob.
he was great TV. Oh, great! So I can't wait till season 62 where it'll be Rome versus
He's played
Q.
5 different
yeah,
Yeah,
times.
yeah, Rome versus Q.
He finds love in season 50, the All-Star season. It harkens back to that.
Who's
yeah.
it gonna be?
I don't
Oh,
know with what
Fra-
contestant he
oh,
falls in.
it'll be Franny because he steals her from Matt
Right.
just for
Oh,
just.
No. That is sacred. That is we don't joke about that, Matt. We
Well,
don't
then,
joke about that one.
okay.
I like the nerdy romance.
Well, yeah, me
So
too.
no. The nerdy showmance. That was like that's my favorite Survivor showmance. So you stay away
Well,
from it. And you're
there's really only two, so it's not really that hard to pick.
anyway.
yeah. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Day After Podcast. Hope you all enjoyed it. Matt, anything you want to shout out and do?
Sure. You can listen to the day after on the Reality After Show. I believe you guys are covering Love is Blind still, or is that over?
We are still doing
Love
that.
is
Yep.
Blind.
Oh,
And we just recorded earlier today with Tanya Vance from season 5 of Survivor, as well as we're still doing Brand Steals. But yeah, Brand Steals should be a weekly thing, and Love is Blind will be bi-weekly. And
yeah.
bi-weekly as in like every other week.
And then for Reality After Show, the Tribe of Nerds will be on there this Saturday, covering, recapping Agatha all along. Then speaking of Tribe of Nerds, I'm on there for the international crew. I'm the one who gets all the interviews because every survivor loves me. They even shout me out on another podcast. We just released a couple from the Philippines, and then the Sunday we will be recording one of the most a interview with one of the most dominant international winners ever, who will also be spoiler on Australia versus the world.
Nice.
Wow. Should
One
should be
more
good
thing
stuff. Yeah.
one more thing I want to shout out. Obviously, I want to shout out Strickland Propane.
And he is muted. Okay, thank
Uh,
you. That's a good episode. Okay, everyone, we're we're gonna call it right there. Bye, adios.